Today's video, in collaboration with several other of my YouTube friends, is a husband Q&A. And since I don't have a husband, excuse me, the camera's over here, excuse me. Baron, the closest thing I have to a husband, will be answering questions with me. Just kidding, it'll actually be Paul. You need to scoot up so you're on the same level as me. You get any closer so we're on
Forgetting
the
where
same.
the camera is, and it's right there.
Yeah. Ooh.
What was that?
I don't know, but try not to hit the table when you're scooting up. You ready to do this?
Let's do this.
All right.
God, can I change my shirt?
Uh-huh.
Should we start this all over again since I have a new shirt?
No, we'll just say this. There's been a surprise wardrobe change.
Yes, and I also got a haircut.
He did, but not since you just saw him.
No.
All right. I suppose I should do my intro. Hi YouTube, Autumn Beckman here, and Paul.
Hello everyone.
Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Wait, what do I usually say?
Don't
see,
ask me.
You see, he complains about doing these videos and how he thinks he's terrible and same.
The truth is out.
It is. It's all in the editing. I'm going to start over because I don't remember how to get back into where I was. Hi YouTube, Autumn Beckman here, and Paul.
Hello everyone.
Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My channel is all about luxury living on a budget, from high-end luxury handbags and small goods to the everyday luxuries of life. If that sounds interesting to you, please make sure you subscribe, click the bell notification icon to be notified when I post new videos, and be sure to like the videos that you enjoy. And one of the perks of subscribing to my channel is you get to see my community post on your YouTube homepage, where I post deals, discount codes, sales, and rare finds related to these beautiful things that we love.
Wish I could talk that fast.
I've been trying to make it faster. So today we're doing a Not My Husband Q&A, and it's in collaboration with 4 other YouTubers, 4 of my very favorite YouTubers: Devin Christopher, Styled by Gwenny, Winnie B LV, and Yota Style. And all their videos will be linked below, so as soon as you are done watching whatever's going to happen here, then please make sure you go check out all of their videos as well. I'm really looking forward to it. Oh, I just messed up because Yota is not participating in this one. She had planned to, but some things came up and she wasn't able to do it, so
We're gonna miss her.
we will miss her, and Keith, and apologies for getting your hopes up and then letting you down, but sometimes that's what this channel is all about. Let's get started here. We all have the same 20 questions. All right, I just recounted the questions and we only had 19, so I'm adding a 20th bonus question. Perhaps the others will figure that out and do the same. I don't know. I think I'm the last one to film this. Let's get started. Question 1. What is your favorite drink?
That's a no-brainer. Margaritas.
Margaritas. I could have answered that. We probably should have answered that for each other. There's some of these that I wasn't sure if we were supposed to answer just about themselves, about ourselves, or about the other person. And he makes a mean margarita.
A very mean margarita.
What do you think my favorite drink is?
Margarita? You have several drinks that you like.
I do. I don't have one particular go-to.
Favorite of the day. I know you like old fashions.
What do I drink most often?
Wine.
Not true.
No?
Of all the drinks, what do I drink most often? This should be easy. Our fridge is always full of it, not alcohol.
Oh, we're talking about drinks. No wonder I'm going blank.
Well, nobody said alcohol. It just said drinks. So what is it, man?
I'm just going to say bourbon.
I just said not alcohol, and our fridge is always full of it. What
I don't know. I'm lost here.
what liquid do I put into my mouth more than any other liquid?
Water.
Thank you. Sparkling water, specifically.
We went from drinks
That was hard.
to water.
And this is just the beginning, guys.
Yes, it's going to be a long night.
Question 2. What was the first thing you noticed about me?
Your beautiful hair.
My
The
hair.
very first thing I ever noticed.
Interesting. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Don't ever cut it.
That sounded like a threat. You just cut yours. We have double standards in this household.
Yes, I just got a haircut, so now I have less wind resistance and I can walk faster. What's the first thing you noticed about me?
So when we first met, the very first time we met was at a dinner with some friends. I probably noticed your sense of humor first, because as far as looking at people, you were just one of many people at the table where we were sitting. I'm one who pays less attention to looks and I listen. You did stand out.
I did.
You did. You stood out that night. Mm-hmm.
God, I was afraid you were going to say it was because I chew with my mouth open or something.
Well, that was the second thing I noticed. Question 3. What do we argue about the most?
Chores.
I would agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
That's constant.
Specifically, what we tend to argue about is that we each feel like we do chores around the house, but we often don't feel like the other person is doing as much as we are. And we both feel that way. And we argue about that a lot because we feel like I'm doing all this stuff and you're like sitting around on the computer. We both have the same argument there.
Right.
Because he's usually in his room editing photographs and I'm usually on the computer working on YouTube stuff. So
Let's face it, anyone who lives with each other, they're going to have arguments like that.
that's what I hear. Question 4, what nicknames do we have for each other?
You have a nickname for me. You call me Paulie G.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't
But
have
which I didn't come up with. You did.
I guess I did.
You nicknamed yourself.
Self-nicknamed.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't have a nickname. Never have had a nickname for you, except I'll call you Beckman. I'll call
Yeah.
you Autumn Beckman. It's like when the kid does something wrong and the mom says, Charlie Johnson?
We used to call each other by our last names, but that started from some movie or series we were watching where they called each other by their last
And
names.
we thought we were being cool.
Yeah, well, we clearly are. Okay, question 5. Complete this sentence. You are my...
You're my favorite travel companion. That travel's going to come up a lot.
Spoiler alert. Well, you're mine too.
Thank you.
My answer to that question would be you're my best friend.
That would be my answer as well.
All right. Well, we're on the same page there. No arguments this time. Question 6. How does your life compare to how you imagined it growing up?
Gee, I thought I would be working until I died. I was able to retire. Now that I am, I'm enjoying it. I highly recommend it. It's very different. I didn't expect, even at this age, that I would be retired. I thought I would still be working. It's terrific. It's just great.
It is great. I'm happy for you. I was happy for you when that happened.
Yes, you were. You threw a retirement party
I
for
threw
it.
him a big retirement party. How many years ago was that? I don't remember.
It was 2016. 5 years.
Oh, I have to answer the question too, right? How does your life compare to how you imagined it growing up? I guess it depends on at which point growing up you would have asked me this question, because I always wanted to be a Disney animator and I had decided not to do that. I went to school for animation for about a year and a half and decided that wasn't what I wanted to do. But I'd say a little more broadly than that is that growing up, because I grew up in such poverty, my goal for being an adult was to be in a situation where I wouldn't have to worry about whether I had like $5 to spend on something, and if spending $5 would make me go broke. I wanted to be able to pay my bills and have a little bit left over for extra things like that. And I have certainly accomplished that. In that sense, it's what I thought it would be. I never wanted to be married, still not married, high five. Never
Drink
wanted,
to
yeah, that's definitely a drink to moment. And also never wanted to have kids and don't have those either. Yes.
Well, you do have kids.
I do not have children, human children. That's what I mean. I have fur babies.
Yes, you do.
I hate that term. I have dogs and a bird, and they are my children, and I love them.
They're the best.
But not the human ones, no. Of course, that excludes all my students. I don't have to take them home with me, though. That was a great question. I thought that was
It was.
a really interesting one. Question 7. What activity makes you feel the most joyful when you're doing it?
Well, it's probably no surprise. It's photography. It's when I'm standing out there on a mountaintop or in a valley or a seashore, and it's sort of my church. That's my joy. That's my biggest joy, is being there. And it's almost regardless of whether I get a picture out of it or not. It's just being there. That's been my biggest joy, I think, since my 20s, since I first took up photography. It was then and it still is.
Good answer. I can definitely see that with you. By the way, I have another travel vlog coming up. It'll be my next video, and it'll be a trip that we took over the summer.
And by the way, you have that question to answer as well.
I do. What activity makes you feel most joyful when you're doing it? As I was listening to you, I was thinking, because it seems like it would be some big thing like that, like traveling and stuff. But really the time when I am the happiest, the most content is when I'm just sitting around the apartment, hanging out with the dogs. Sometimes you're there. It's mostly about the dogs. And usually working on something creative like YouTube. The quarantine part of the pandemic was not a problem for me.
In my next life, yes, I'm going to be a dog.
If you want to be in my life again, you will be. All right, question 8. What would you do with your life if you suddenly became a billionaire? Everybody's dream.
I've thought about that a lot, and you could go on and on with, different permutations of this answer. You could give all your money away for charities, you could save the world, you could affect climate change. Mine's a little bit more selfish, and here it is. If I was a multi-billionaire and there was no object to the cost. I'd live on the Amalfi Coast. If you know where that is, it's on the west coast of Italy, and it's just gorgeous. Having been to Italy, I've fallen in love with it. That's what I would do. Beyond that, I don't know details, but I would live on the Amalfi Coast, and I would be so happy because of the photography, the food, the culture. It's Italy. That's me.
It's Italy. That's all you need to know.
It's Italy.
That's a good answer. I don't know that I would want to live in a different country because there's so many complications with that, not just financial ones, but you'd be potentially leaving behind all the people you know. I think it's kind of difficult to get animals over there. I wouldn't ever leave my animals. I think what I would do is travel more, but maybe not live elsewhere. But I would very likely have some kind of dog rescue.
That's interesting, our different answers. You talk about not wanting to leave the country because you would be separated from the people you care about. So the way that I process that is, if I'm this rich, if I want to see anyone, I just fly them over first class. They come and visit me in my villa. And if I want to see them, I just fly over there.
Question 9. What is something you wish we did together more often?
Travel is going to keep coming up in this video. I travel more.
Yeah, that's probably my answer too.
Whoa! There's too much gravity in here, folks.
I don't think you could see that, but he picked up his drink. His coaster was attached to the glass and it fell off.
It went south.
I'm thinking about that question. I think so. I think travel, yeah. And the only reason we don't do it more often, besides money, because travel is expensive, is my work schedule.
It's tough when she's a teacher because she's very limited as to
Yeah.
when she can go places, and it's not always the best time of year to go to a particular place.
Question 10. Who is more likely to survive the Hunger Games, me or you?
I thought about that, and I think it's me.
I think it's you too.
Yeah. What's your reason?
Because I wouldn't want to kill people.
Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't want either to kill people, but I would want to survive.
Yeah.
And I think just the fact that, this is going to sound trite, but having been in the military, maybe being a male, you're just sort of hardwired to think about having to fight for things or fight for your safety or your life, whatever. I'm getting a little bit deep into that answer, but and it's supposed to be a sort of a cute question, but I think I would survive. I would be the best.
And this is a similar question, number 11. Who is more likely to live through a zombie attack?
Well, that's easy. I would, but here's why. Because when the zombies come after me and they get a bite of me, they're going to spit it out.
Okay.
When they go after her, oh my God.
Well, mosquitoes like me. That's why he's saying that. He has said to like any person that he can that he hangs around me because he never gets bit by mosquitoes because they all are on me. True story.
True.
Question 12. What historical era would you most and least want to go to?
I think the one I'd want to go to and be in for a while the most would be the 20s here in America. I'm sort of a history buff, and there are things about the 20s that just sort of press my buttons. I think I would enjoy that. Because after a war, people were optimistic. There were crazy things going on, and who doesn't like some crazy things now and then? It was a period of time between a bad time and another bad time coming up. So that would be where I'd maybe like to visit. Place I'd want to visit the least, or the historical area the least, would be the Middle Ages. No science, plagues, death, ignorance.
Are you sure you're not talking about today?
Well, I could go on with that answer.
Present day America.
Right. Yes. So the Middle Ages, I want to stay away from.
I know where I'd want to go to the most. The least is a toss-up because I'm female. You being male, and particularly being white male, you have a lot of advantages historically.
That's true.
And women not so much. So where the least, I don't know specifically. The Middle Ages sounds like a good answer. When we were in Italy, there were museums that were they called torture museums? Museums of torture. They're what they sound like. You go in and you see all these torture devices that were used in the Middle Ages, and it was pretty frightening. I'll pick that just from that experience.
We're both going to stay away from the Middle Ages.
As far as where I'd want to go the most, I'm thinking about a time where women maybe weren't as oppressed as they were at other times, and also some advantages to that era. And for me, that would be your time period, the 1960s. So that's when the music would be the biggest advantage for me for that, because that's what I listen to is classic rock, things that were developed during that time, during the 60s. That's my favorite music.
That's an interesting question, and there's lots of ways you can answer it.
Yeah, and I mean, far from perfect.
Right.
because women were still oppressed. A lot of other people were still much more oppressed and still are today. I mean, it's tough. As far as that goes, we're the least oppressed now, but so many people are still not treated well. So
answering that question is almost about who you are, where you were born, what is your background as a human being, because you interpret that so differently.
Question 13. Who is my hall pass celebrity crush?
You answer that first.
For you?
No, for yourself.
No, I thought this one, because we both know each other's.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I'd answer for you and you answer for me. I think that'd be more fun. I can answer for you. So for you, yours would be Michelle Pfeiffer.
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin is your hall pass?
Steve and Michelle, either one.
Steve Martin is my perfect man.
Right.
He's funny. He is also creative. He's artistic.
He's almost the man I am.
Almost, except he's quite wealthy and...
And what?
Well...
Does that mean a lot to you?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does, yes. That would be nice. Question 14. This one is fun. Do you believe in ghosts?
One word answer, no.
I don't, but I am open to the possibility because I know so many people who have stories to tell that are first-hand stories, like Devin Christopher. Go watch his videos. Sophie Shohat has had some ghost stories, and I know people in my personal life who've said they've encountered ghosts and unexplainable things. So it's interesting. I personally have not ever had an experience like that, and scientifically it's not something I believe in, but it's interesting. I'm open to it.
And in my case, I say no, but that doesn't mean that I'm not open to the fact that something can make me believe in ghosts. It's just that right now I don't have enough evidence to believe in ghosts.
Question 15. Have you ever been in a physical fight?
Yes.
Explain.
It was with my brother.
Ah, of course.
My older brother, 20 months older than I. So we're in grade school. I like to wear his blue jeans because I liked his jeans better than my jeans for some reason. And I would always be wearing his blue jeans. So one day he catches me in the hall wearing his blue jeans and he just lays into me. That's the first time I've ever really been beat up by my own brother.
The first time?
Well, maybe he's beaten me up a couple of times.
Uh-huh.
He's tried several ways during our lives to kill me. As far as fights, that's the only fight I've ever been in was with my brother.
I have never been in a physical fight of any sort.
Well, we'll see if we can change that.
Okay. No, thank you. Question 16. What gift would you buy me if money was no object?
Repetition. I would buy you that villa on the Amalfi Coast.
Okay.
That's it.
See, I thought you were going to say, like, travel, and I was going to counter that with, but I'm going to, if things work out like they should work out, I'm going to live a while. I could use a house. So thank you.
You're welcome.
A house that I don't have to pay for. I would buy you travel. I would get you unlimited airline tickets.
Unlimited airline tickets.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You don't seem as excited as I thought you'd be, but...
Well, I'm just thinking about how hard it is to travel on airlines these days.
Would you rather have steamboat tickets?
No. Instead of airline tickets, unlimited airline tickets, you need to throw in a private chartered jet.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing.
So that throws out the airline tickets.
Well, it's still air travel. It's the same thing.
See, here we're starting that arguing about stuff now that we
Yeah.
talk.
Question 17. What is my dream car? Answer that for me. Actually, answer it for yourself because I don't know yours and you don't know mine, I don't think.
For me?
We've asked each other this question before, but I don't remember yours.
And I think it's changed, it changes.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, currently, it's a Tesla.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
I just think they're the bomb, I've never driven one. I've never even been in one. But just from what I know, it's the car that I would like to have. I can't really explain it beyond that. I'm not going to go into 15 minutes of details of the features and benefits of a Tesla, but it's just that car that presses my button right now.
All right.
And you?
I think it's a 1957 Corvette. I'll put a picture of it here on top of Paul's head. I saw this in an Alfred Hitchcock movie years ago, and it's always been my favorite car since then. I like classic cars.
Mm-hmm. You like several classic cars that you've talked about.
I like several classic things. Number 18, my most annoying trait. What is it?
My answer first? For me or for you?
For me. What do you think my most annoying trait is?
I really hadn't thought about what your most annoying trait was. I just thought about mine.
Well, I gave you the questions ahead of time. You didn't do your job.
I need a drink. Your most annoying trait, arguing.
I enjoy it, though. But not like mean arguing, like debating.
Debating, yes.
Yeah.
Debating just ridiculous things.
You're about to cause another debate. Your most annoying trait. Gosh, there's so many.
Do we need to have a second video for that?
We probably do. This one's getting long. I know that you don't turn out the lights after you leave a room.
That's pretty annoying.
It is pretty annoying, and I don't put up with it. I don't go behind him and turn lights off for him because he's a grown man and he should know how to turn off a light switch. He won't learn if I do it for him.
I thought about an annoying trait that you have since you sort of upped the ante here.
Oh, really?
We're going someplace, and I get all ready, and we have to leave at a certain time, and Autumn says she's ready to go, and I go to the front door, and I'm waiting, and all of a sudden she says, oh, I left something in my room, or I left my phone, or I have to change something.
Doesn't everyone do this?
Except that 15 minutes later, I'm still waiting at the door. Plan ahead.
Let me explain something to you. When you leave the house and then you forget something and you have to go back into the house, you have to go through the entire process again of saying goodbye to each of the animals individually and giving them head scratches and letting them know that you will be back.
Why, of course. Why didn't I think of that?
I mean, really. Question 19. What would you like to do if we make it to retirement?
Well, gee, if I make it to retirement, I'll retire. No, obviously I'm already retired. But if Autumn makes it to retirement, what would I like to do if we were both retired and you were retired?
Right. I mean, this is meant for a couple who's closer to the same age. If y'all haven't noticed, we're not quite the same age. Yeah.
Yeah, we're a couple of years apart.
Just a couple.
Right.
Yeah, if we were both
Gee.
retired, if neither of us had to work anymore, what would you want to do?
Well, I think we've already answered that question
so.
through the other questions.
Yeah.
Pretty obvious.
Travel. With dogs.
With dogs.
Vincent, she's good at traveling, but that wouldn't be good for her to have her travel. She'd have to stay in her condo at Grandma's house. The dogs would enjoy traveling.
And she'd always be saying something to people that they think we said.
Fun fact, when I was in college, I came home for Christmas and I left her with a friend's mom. The friend's mom spoke French, and when I came back and got Vincent, she would say, bonjour, bonjour. She doesn't say it anymore, but she used to.
Never heard her say that.
No, she hasn't said it in a long time. I forgot to ask you, you said that you came up with your own most annoying trait. What was it?
Someone asked me a question, and what should be a 3-word answer I turn into a 10-minute soliloquy.
Very true, very true. I've gotten to the point where when I ask him a question, I'll say like 5 words or less, or 10 words or less, answer this question. And you've gotten good at it. At first you were very resistant to that strategy of mine. You're good at it now.
Was there something annoying about yourself that you...
If I had to pick one about myself, it's probably that I like things a very particular way, and I get annoyed when things aren't done that way.
Look closely. Eye roll.
I'm difficult to live with. He's not disagreeing.
No comment.
All right, bonus question 20. We went to the internet, found a list of interesting questions, and we each picked one. Your question is...
What's the craziest thing one of your teachers has done? Bit of a story. I went to a Catholic all-boys high school here in Houston, and we were taught by priests. So you were in a classroom on any given day, and there would be Father Sheehan or somebody, a big guy as big as a wrestler. Of course, we're in high school, we're all boys, we're smarting off, pushing the limits of everything. There's that term about being thrown out of class, but what you have to understand is back then where I went to school, being thrown out of class meant this literally. The teacher would ask one of the kids to open the door, and the offending kid would be picked up in his desk and thrown out of the room into the hallway. I mean this. I'm serious, but it may be what I am today.
We're not allowed to do that anymore.
No.
The question I picked is, what is the most interesting thing you've read or seen this week? My answer to that would be that I discovered a YouTube channel related to something that I listen to sometimes on NPR, which is a segment called The Moth, or The Moth Radio Hour. And they play that on the weekends as far as I know. And I discovered that they have a YouTube channel, and these are videos of just regular people telling stories, true stories about their life. And the most interesting one that I saw this week was about this guy who survived the earthquake, the resulting tsunami, and the nuclear disaster in Japan in 2011. And he actually worked at the nuclear plant and was inside of it when the earthquake hit. First of all, warning, it's a very emotional story. You'll need tissues to watch this video. But he tells it in a way where you can really picture yourself there. It's just very engaging and enthralling and frightening and horrific. And he also has a resolution to it at the end, which was nice. It's definitely worth watching. I enjoy things like hearing people's stories, and I guess a lot of people do because this show is a big hit. So I've been watching a lot of those. this week. Or not a lot, because I don't have time to just sit around watching YouTube, but I've seen several of them. So thank you for participating in the Not My Husband Q&A.
It's been fun.
And make sure you go right now, watch Devin Christopher, Styled by Gwenny, Winnie B. LV, and Not Yota Style because she couldn't participate. Their videos will be linked below in the description box.
I can't wait to see them myself.
Me either. Something else we have in common. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Hope to see you back here next time. Hope you and your loved ones are doing well, and we hope you have a fantastic day. Bye, guys.